You know, when you think about pro audio gear, your mind always goes to the big stuff, right? The massive speakers, the fancy VXE board.
Absolutely, the flashy stuff.
Yeah, but I was going through our sources for today, and it seems like the most critical gear is actually the stuff you never ever see, the things hidden away in a rack somewhere.
It's the invisible infrastructure. And that is the perfect intro for what we're looking at today.
Which is this little black box.
The Kramer 907 stereo power amplifier.
Right, and it looks so simple. But the description calls it a high-performance solution.
And that's our whole mission for this deep dive.
Yeah.
To figure out how something so small packs such a punch and why it's built the way it is.
Okay, so let's get into it. The first thing on the spec sheet that just jumps out at me is Class D operation.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, let's be honest, for anyone who's not an audio engineer, getting a D sounds, well, it sounds like you barely passed.
It's such a common misconception. But yeah, in the amplifier world, Class D isn't a grade at all.
So what is it?
It refers to the design, the topology. It's all about high efficiency.
Okay.
See, your traditional amps, like a Class A or AB, they waste a ton of energy just creating heat. Class D works differently. It's more like a super fast switch, turning on and off thousands of times a second.
Way faster than you could ever hear.
Exactly. So it wastes almost no power as heat, which means it runs really cool.
Which must be how they get so much power into this tiny little thing. We're talking 40 watts per channel, continuous, into an 8-ohm load.
And that's just the continuous power. For music, for those quick dynamic peaks like a drum hit or a cymbal crash,
Yeah.
it can push 150 watts per channel.
3 out of here.
Yeah.
That's actually wild because the physical specs say this entire unit weighs about 0.3 kilograms.
Which is what, 0.7 pounds?
Yeah, 0.7 pounds. That's lighter than my tablet, and it's putting out 150 watts of peak power.
And that is the absolute magic of Class D. You don't need giant, heavy heat sinks, so the whole thing can shrink. And that form factor is, well, it's everything for the people this is built for.
Right, let's talk about the physical design. The docs call it a multi-tools design.
Yeah, and that's all about density. Think about a professional install, like in a university or a corporate headquarters. Rack space is prime real estate.
You can't waste an inch.
Not one. So with this design, you can take an optional adapter and mount 4 of these 907s side by side in a single 1U rack space.
So in a space that's less than 2 inches high, you're powering 4 separate stereo zones.
Precisely.
But this is where it gets really interesting for me. The connections. I'm looking at the pictures, and there are no RCA jacks, no headphone port, nothing I really recognize.
It's a dead giveaway, isn't it?
What are these?
Those are terminal block connectors for both the input and the output.
So they're basically those little green strips with the tiny screws you have to wire in yourself?
That's the one. And that tells you this is not for someone who just wants to plug in their phone. This is for a permanent, secure installation.
Because the wires can't get pulled out by accident.
Right. And just as important, it takes a balanced stereo signal as its input.
Which helps get rid of noise and interference over long cable runs.
You got it. It's designed to cancel out any hum you might pick up from, say, power cables running next to it in a wall. You set it up, screw it into the rack, and then you forget it exists.
Although, you can touch it if you need to. I see a volume knob, a mute button, and something called a gain control DIP switch.
And that little switch is crucial for matching the amplifier's input level to whatever audio source you're feeding it. It's about precision.
And speaking of precision, the audio quality specs look pretty solid. Bandwidth of 20 kilohertz, which is full human hearing.
And a signal-to-noise ratio of over 60 dB. It's clean, it's powerful, and it's tiny.
Okay, let's talk about the price then. It's listed right now for around $384